Everybody, welcome back to another podcast. My name is Gramps, and I'll be your host. Today, I am joined with my person who's been in multiple videos of mine, my father. Would you like to say hi?
Hello.
Yep. So today, in the VS podcast, we're going to be talking about multiple things, but to start it off, we're going to talk about the summer update. So, for one, new soundtrack. Let me move this over here, if you can hear it. The music got low when I moved it. How do you turn it up? But yeah, we got a new lobby noise. You turned it. Yeah. So that's the new lobby music. I really don't notice it because I don't play with sound on when I record videos. But, you know, when I do listen to it, it's an awesome beat. I really like it. So yeah, that's one of the newest things in the update. Another new thing are the skins. So if you want to go to the shop,
You mean more new things or another new thing?
Oh, more new things.
a new thing is
another new thing is
actually the shop is a trip.
The Star Point. Yeah, I know. The Star Point skins.
Have you already talked about
I've talked about all of this because I have an update video, but in this one I'm going to be going in more depth and give my reviews. So, we got the Star Shop skin. Light Mecha Bow is one of them, and Outlaw Crow is another, Colt, is another one that's available right now. So how do you like them, Dad?
I think Colt is just another rendition of another look for Colt.
Yeah, no,
and I understand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the differences in the color of the hair and all that other stuff. Maybe the gun is different or whatever. Mm-hmm. I think it's all right. I think it's cool if you want a different kind of Colt. Mm-hmm. The mechas, I think, are pretty awesome.
Yeah.
They're kind of a throwback to a bunch of, like you can think of something like Gundam, right? Mm-hmm. Which is probably trademarked, I'm sure. Other kinds of things, Mortal Kombat comes to mind. When they mechanized and used things like Sector and all those other ones. Yeah. The mecha name to me throws me all the way back to some of the original Godzilla movies, where there was Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla.
Oh dang.
So, it kind of throws back to that. I like Bo. Yeah. I think it's pretty cool.
Bo, my friend who was playing around with him, you said that because of his new voice, he sounds like, what is his name? The main Transformer? He sounds like Optimus Prime.
Optimus? Really?
Yeah, he said that it sounds like Optimus Prime because of his deep voice already, and they made it robotic, so it sounds like him. But going back to the Colt skin, I found out just a couple of days ago because my friend Killian, who has that skin, he bought it with the 500 star points, and I was looking at it, and meanwhile I had my... what is it called? Rockstar Colt. I had that skin on, and I realized that basically it's a recolor of Rockstar Colt because it has the same star. If you turn it around, he has a lightning. Mm-hmm. So basically, it's the same skin but just different color with a different name.
Now, is it me or the guns different?
No, the guns are the same.
Those are the same? Okay.
Everything's the same except for the colors.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, to me, it's kind of like, okay.
But to be fair, though, we have to cut them some slack. It's only 500 star points, which is easy to get. You only need to rank up. You only need to rank up your brawler like two brawlers twice to 15 to get that skin. So it's not that much, and it's an okay skin because the free to play players is gonna be good for them because they get to get skins that don't cost money. Mm-hmm. So I think this is a good thing for them.
I think it was also nice that they just simply awarded people. 2,000 star points so that you can get started with a skin when you want it or you wanted to do something else. Whatever. I don't know what they're going to offer in the future. Yeah. If it's just skins.
I'm pretty sure they're going to offer more skins, though, in the future as well. Yeah. Like, I heard somewhere. I forgot where. I apologize for not giving, actual, what is it called? Credit. Yeah, I apologize for that. But I recall hearing someone reviewing the skin, reviewing the update, and they said that in the future, there might be a chance that they add in items to the game. And I don't know how they're going to do that, but, they're adding in items, so that's going to be cool to see.
Interesting.
Yeah, that'll be very interesting to see what happens. So, off of the skins now, we should talk about the normal skins. So, I feel like this is sad, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. You can no longer buy skins that you want on the Brawler menu. You have to buy skins on the skins shop. And only 4 show up a day. And, if you don't want any of those skins, too bad for you. You're not getting the skin you want until it comes into rotation.
Yeah.
So, Dad is not really, he is a majority of the time he's a free-to-play player, but every now and then he splurges, unlike me, who I would classify myself as not a free-to-play player. How do you think this affects you? Because you're almost a free-to-play player.
Well, I mean, excuse me, if you look at my profile, you'll see I have different skins for different fighters. I don't have every skin. I don't buy a lot. I mean, in all honesty, I prefer my fighters to just get stronger than just to look different.
Yeah.
I think it's cool that you can have Crow look like a robotic, psychotic monster. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
But I think that it's silly that Ricochet looks like a king or looks like what was the other one? A popcorn guy. I mean, Barley throwing pies at people. I think that was funny.
I like that skin.
I think that's good for a laugh, but after a while, the laugh is, the laugh dies, and after that, you're left with a skin that looks like Barley.
I think, though, to be fair, my favorite Barley skin, though, is the Maple Barley, the Canadian one, because
I think that's cool looking.
They made it because Canada was the main country that they started with soft launch. They only introduced it to Canada, but people figured out how to change their iOS to say that you're Canadian so you could get the game. So that's why they made the Maple Barley, because it was the first country that they released it in. And it took 2 years, actually, because I remember Brawl Stars' anniversary is a day after my birthday. So it's been out for 2 years, and that was like the first time that they made a skin for Canada.
Now,
I like that one.
I'll tell you this one, because you just clicked on him. I've never liked Caveman Frank.
God, I hate him.
Okay, and I'll tell you why. I like the clothes, I like the bone. He looks like Fred Flintstone. What I can't stand is, I guess it's purple hair. Because to me, that looks like a Special Forces beret. So it does not mix.
I think he looks gothic, in my opinion, with the hair over one of his eye, and then the weird mullet.
It looks cheesy, yeah.
I don't like it. I think that Brawl Stars, once they actually make a new model for Frank, because he's been having that model for years, since he's been released. Yeah. Once they create a new model, they typically make the skins better. Like with Ricochet. Before he got remodeled and turned into Rico, his gold skin was something, like, people really didn't notice this, but a few people did. His feet, every part of it, and the gold skin he had, everything was golden except for his his shoes weren't golden, but the calves were still the bland silver color.
Yeah.
And everyone was like crazy about that, and then when they make Rico, when they remodeled him, they made that skin a whole bunch better. And I think that they're going to do the same with Caveman Frank. And Frank, when they remodel him, they're going to make it look better. So I can't wait for that.
I think they're probably going to do away with Caveman Frank because it doesn't really fit anything.
I don't know. Brawl Stars doesn't really have a history of releasing things and then getting rid of them immediately, at least to my knowledge. Except for bits, but that was right in alpha days, like right when the game came out. You could get duplicate brawlers, Dad, from boxes, and if you had that brawler already, they get turned into bits, and bits are used to buying brawlers. And I think that's like one of the only things that they actually got away with. They took it away, in the history of the game, as far as to my knowledge. But yeah. I
mean, if you ask me personally, I think some of them are kind of cool. Rico, to me, loaded Rico, looks... I think Rico's overall look looks silly. But his
old look was awesome. Old look was awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, I get it, because Rico's supposed to be this bouncy ball warrior guy, and he shoots bouncing balls.
Yeah, and that's why they made him look like a ball dispenser that you find at Target and whatever.
Yeah, so that's why, to me, it fits. But he doesn't fall in the same category as somebody like, what's his name, the shooter,
Colt.
Idiot, yeah, Colt, or anybody else that shoots actual bullets, because bullets don't bounce.
Yeah.
They will ricochet.
But they won't
hit,
ricochet
but they're not
like...
going to ricochet 85 times. Yeah. So it makes sense that they use a bouncing ball
machine.
Basically like a bouncing ball overall thing for Rico.
Exactly.
But then where does the king thing come in?
I think they only had to figure out a king skin because of the because of the gold medalist Rico skin or Ricochet skin that they had before the remodel. Because, like I said, they don't like taking away skins. So when they came up with the new remodel, they had to think of a way to make a gold skin. So gold medalist Rico was a good skin, in my opinion, but because of the new remodel, they had to create a skin for it. And they probably weren't going to go for the same gold medalist Rico instead of gold medalist Ricochet. So that's why they made it loaded Rico and made it just, look like a king. So I think that's why. But in my opinion, I think this loaded Rico is better than popcorn Rico. I think
so too.
Because it looks less serious than shooting popcorn. Although it is a good skin. I think I like both of them, but loaded Rico is probably the superior skin because he shoots gems. Yeah, so, you got anything else to say about the skins portion?
No, I'm basically running off at the mouth, so no, I'm good.
So yeah, that's the shop update. I mean, I like the new layout of the shop. It reminds me, we dropped something. It reminds me, because in Clash of Clans, I don't know if you remember that, but in Clash of Clans, the shop was the same way. It was side-scrolling, and you had to scroll to the right to see all the things. So it gave me some Clash of Clans vibes. So I think that's pretty nice. So next thing we should talk about are the second star powers. So Dad got lucky. I don't know how, but he got Nita's second star power out of the box.
It was a basic brawl box.
Yep.
I'm sitting there, and so in a quick nutshell, quick story. So I got Poco's star power. Yeah. Love that one to death.
Oh, his new star power, you're probably going to like.
To me, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in a bit.
To me, that was one, for me personally, because I'm not like your, daily gamer who sits there hour upon hour to play these games and gets tons better and all this other stuff. I always enjoyed the fact that when Poco shot his blast, his music blast, I call it, to me, that's just devastating. It's like having a massive shotgunner, small guy, but he's got amazing ability. With that strength, with that
attack.
Yeah, with that attack, and so for me, I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Then they come out with the with the Rico power. Rico power. They come out with his star power, and his star power now loads 500 health to everybody that gets hit. Is it 500? Something like that.
I think it's 500.
And so...
the capo.
Yeah, so if you keep people within your range, especially if they're your...
teammates.
if they're your teammates, you get that. You add to their health. So you're basically just compounding their ability to be able to fight.
Yeah.
So it makes him that much more awesome. So when he uses his special, everybody gets this massive recharge.
Exactly.
So I found that he was extremely effective in games like Siege, in games like the
Heist?
Was it Gem Drop?
Gem Grab?
Gem Grab and Heist.
Yeah.
Because if you keep them within a certain area and you can recharge these guys all day. Mm-hmm. And not only that, especially in what were we talking about in
Siege?
In Siege, they have the dotted line. Obviously, you know that. So I can stand literally on their line on an open map. I can stand on their line and keep all three of their fighters at bay without having my other guys help me at all.
Yeah.
Because, I'm not wasting my shots, but that's how wide his shot is.
Yeah.
So I can stand there with his normal power and use all my other powers, and all of a sudden, Poco becomes this awesome fighter.
Yeah, Poco's really good at controlling. Can I talk about his new star power?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Because the point I was trying to make was this, is to finish your point.
Yeah.
I got him first. Then I got, I received, whose was it? Was it Bulls?
It was Nita.
It was Nita's. I got Nita's first star.
First star power.
Her first star power, and I loved it. Thought it was awesome. Then I saw her second star power come up, but I already had Bull ready to go.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, what do I do? Because I have 2,000 gems. I had like 2,700. I'm not gems, 2,700 coins or whatever. And I'm sitting there going, okay, what do I do with them? Do I buy Nita's second, or do I just go and get Bulls? So I opted to get Bulls.
Yeah, because you want to start off with the base star powers.
So I started using Bull star power, and I like it. It's pretty cool.
Berserker?
Because Berserker's pretty cool.
It is good.
Loads really fast. So if you're in a battle with somebody like Frank, and Frank is just knocking you silly, and you're popping them, all of a sudden you're down to 40%. I can load 2 shots and get him off before he gets his next shot on me.
Exactly.
So sometimes it helps. Sometimes you just get slaughtered. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anyways, 24 hours later, on a brawl box.
It was the same day. It was the same day that he got... No, it was the same day that he got Bulls, I believe, right?
No, I got Bulls, then the next morning...
Oh, yeah,
I'm just screwing around on the game. I get a brawl box. First thing I do, open it up. First thing pops out. Nita's second star power. I'm like, oh my god. So I called Chris, because he was in his room.
I was playing Brawl Stars.
And I said, hey, Chris, guess what? And I told him. And Chris just about had a heart attack.
I don't understand. Dad gets so many good things. He was the first. Dad got Pogo's star power before I got anybody's star power. So he keeps, like, he's always one step ahead of me. But I'm the one that pays a lot of... I mean, I don't pay for the game. It's like Brawl Stars sees that Chris is going to buy everything no matter what. So he might as well not give him anything.
And the funniest thing is, how many trophies do you have?
I have 6.1K. 6.1K, I believe.
I'm barely trying to get to 4,000.
That doesn't even have Tick yet.
And I have 3...
4-star powers, technically, because Nita has 2. Bull, and Poco. That's more than me. I only have 3 right now.
And I have Crow lined up to get the next one.
Exactly.
I want to get Crow's
Crow's newest star power. Alright, we should talk about new ones now.
So, okay, go ahead. Talk about the new ones.
I first say Poco. So, Poco, I got him right when I was a youngling in the game. I didn't know how to play Poco, but I was really good with him.
He was actually my
first
is
good.
Brawl Star.
Yeah, he was the first one you unlocked?
He was my
other
first
than Shelly?
brawler.
Other than Shelly, of
I
course?
had Shelly, and then the first, I got him in a Brawl Box also.
And then ever since then, Dad was in love with Poco.
Well, Poco to me, I think he's just one of the more underrated fighters.
He is, but he is very powerful in Showdown.
I think he's devastating.
I play him in Showdown all the time, and I'm going to lead into the new star power with this story. I play him in Showdown all the time, and he can do a lot of damage if you get the star point. If you get the boxes, and you like start getting all these star... what are they called?
So you have 7 or 8 of the...
Power cubes.
The power cubes.
Yeah.
He's
doing like almost 2,000 attack damage every hit. So he can do some really good damage. But back then, when I really didn't know you could read up on the brawlers and see what they do, I thought Poco's super could do damage to to enemies. So I would line up my shots to heal my teammates and do damage to my enemies. And it never did that.
Back then I wish it did.
Yeah, but now, with his new star power introducing to the game, I think it's right here. His super will do around the same damage. His super will do the same damage as... No. So he heals enemies... he heals teammates for 2,000 damage. With his new star power, it's going to do the same, but to the enemies, and damage them for that much. So not only
is he going to heal, he's going to damage.
And it's going to do the... And it doesn't, if it hits an enemy, it pretend it hits an enemy, and because of that, it won't heal your teammate. No. If your teammates and the enemies are all in your super range, you're going to heal your teammates and do damage to all of the enemies.
Everybody gets a little something.
Everyone gets something. And I like that because it also kind of is like Pam's new star power. Mama Squeeze is what it's going to be called. If you're in her turret, range, in her health, it's going to do damage to 300 to you every time you're in it. So it actually gives you a reason to attack it. Yeah. Because typically, if you're in a showdown game and there's a Pam's turret that was just left out, you don't care about it because it doesn't really affect you, so you don't really waste your attacks on it. But now you're going to actually have to because it's going to do a lot of damage to you. So it's also going to change up how sometimes when you're pushing Pam in when you're attacking a Pam in solo showdown and it's like down to the last minutes and she throws down her super, you're going to have to worry about that as well, and you're no longer going to just have to rush Pam because it's going to be doing damage to as well. So that's going to be very interesting to find out. So, Dad, would you like to talk about Nita's newest star power? Because you've actually had a chance to play her in real...
So, Nita's
Hyper
new
Bear.
star power is Hyper Bear.
Mm-hmm.
He swipes at twice the speed.
Mm-hmm. And goes as fast as Nita.
Which helps. I've used both of them. My favorite game to use Nita in is during in a battle in what's the one with Heist? Is that what it's called?
Heist.
Heist. Yeah, I'm terrible with names, but anyways, I like to use her in Heist for two reasons. One is I will attack. I'll get blown away. I'll attack, get blown away again. By the third revolution, I'm able to I get enough to pull the bear out. So I'll run out there, and I'll just run and drop, and then run away, and he'll start swiping at the safe. Yeah. So with her first star power, bear with me. I love that because all of a sudden I start getting fed all this health.
Yeah.
So if I'm attacking somebody and my bear's attacking somebody, you see all this health just flying.
The health just flying
and
around.
It freaks people out. I've noticed it freaks people out because they think that they're going to get damaged. So they run away from me, and then I'm still attacking them. Yeah. So we're feeding each other all this health. It was one time that we took my bear by himself and myself running around, not even hitting the safe, but going after their players. We were able to take their safe from like 85% to 0 just by ourselves. And everybody else was defending our safe, and I'm sitting there killing theirs, right?
But now, because of her new star power, that's going to allow you to do that, but minus the health.
It doesn't give you the health. But
it's going to be faster.
But what I've noticed is that when I'm in there and I'm trying to kill the safe off, he dies at the same speed. So, to me, it's almost a benefit to use Bear with me where we can keep each other healthy.
Although,
Hyper Bear
is crazy because...
But it's twice as fast. Now, if they were to make the bear...
And that's... What is it? What is the bear? 560 damage times 2 of what your normal Bear with me star power would be. So you're doing around, I'd say 1,200 damage, I'd say, because I think I did my math right.
In the same power suite,
Yeah, and it's just going to be, it's crazy. And I think, I think Hyper Bear and Bear With Me are going to be used in multiple, occasions. Pretend that I'm in a group chat, so I'm getting a lot of these. Pretend you are, you're playing Heist, and you want to get the safe down as fast as possible. You're going to probably use Hyper Bear because your bear would be attacking a lot.
Yeah.
But if you're playing Showdown and you need to survive, Bear With Me is probably going to be the way to go because Bear With Me is a more survival star power. So that's that. And
you know me, I love using her also in Brawl Ball.
She is really good in Brawl Ball.
I love her in Brawl Ball.
And I think both star powers will be good in Brawl Ball.
Well, yeah, I've used them both in the new Brawl Ball that they just had out yesterday. I think I can't remember the name of the map.
It's sunny something.
And the barriers are so much more different than the other one.
I think the summer maps look nice.
So I would drop my bear off right basically in the middle where the ball started.
Yeah. And
he would just walk around and. You know that when that bear is coming after you, you run from him. You don't try and kill him. You're trying to run from him, but you're still... So that adds that extra player. It's like in soccer, when somebody gets ejected from the game, they're not able to replace the player, so they have to go short-handed the entire game. That's what the bear feels like, is that you throw in that extra player, and all of a sudden, you guys are fighting less and you're jockeying with the ball more, where they have to fight the bear off. You know what I mean? But that's what I've always loved about using Nita in Brawl Ball.
Yeah.
But anyways, go ahead.
So another star power, a new star power that I am very excited for is Colts that just got released today on July 3rd. Colt's new star power is, let's read up on this. It's called Magnum Special. Colt's attack range and bullet speed are increased by 11%. And I believe the attack damage. I believe it's the attack damage as well. So, basically, he's like a Piper, but pumps out a lot of more damage. Because his range, even though it's 11%, that doesn't sound like a lot. In Brawl Stars, 1% can do a lot. In Brawl Stars, percents are everything. And 11% doesn't sound like a lot, like I said before. But it actually, it does, it's, so basically, let's go on this cave again. Let's go on Training Cave. You're not going to see this, unfortunately. But, so Training Cave, I'm playing out in Dad's account right now. And you go over to one of the robots, and you can't shoot them from here. Like, if you go right there, you can't. With his new star power, if you're on one of the bots, you can hit a bot from all the way over there. Meaning, he has the same range as Piper, around the same range as Piper. And I think that's very cool, and especially for me, my dad knows, and I have a couple of videos with Colt. I'm a beast with Colts.
You're good.
I'm really good at dodging.
You're extremely accurate on long shooting.
I'm really good at dodging, and I'm good at hitting my shots.
Yeah.
I'm the same way with Piper.
I'm terrible at it.
Yeah.
That's why I prefer guys or people and players that are shotgunners. Because I just blow them away.
Yeah.
Left and right, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So, and because of that, I think that this new star power is going to be very fun for me, because at first I didn't like Colt's first star power, Fast Slick Boots, I think it's called. Yeah. I kind of like it now, but I think that I could do without it, because even before then, when I didn't have a star power, I was still dodging left and right, and I was still good. So I think that with his new star power, Magnum Special, I'm going to be even better at, hitting my shots and stuff, because it's going to be longer, and I'm going to be doing more damage.
But here's the thing about it. His bullets are coming in faster, which gives you less time to dodge. I think that's going to be even more devastating. I think that's going to be the bigger benefit, of the two things. The distance is one thing. Adding a little bit more distance to your shot is always going to be awesome. But if the bullets were slow, you could still dodge.
You could still dodge them, but because they're getting increased by 11%,
yeah,
it's going to be devastating.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one killer. First time we see it, we're going to be like, oh, I hate this guy.
Yeah.
Because he's just going to be popping.
Another star power that is very annoying, and a lot of people hate it, is Shelly's Band-Aid.
How is that going to work?
Annoying. It's already out. It was the first star power.
How does that work? So
every time she gets under 40% health,
she automatically
heals full. But it takes 20 seconds to charge up. But that's still very annoying, because if you have someone like Colt, or someone who does damage over time, but it's still getting to you, she's automatically up. So you're only going to have to be having people who are like Shelly.
My favorite fighter is Crow. That's going to suck.
It's going to be really bad for you.
Yeah.
But if you had someone like, let me think of, Bull or Shelly's Super, there's going to be the few people that can actually do damage.
You have to overwhelm her with power.
Yeah, because
but then all she has to do is use her damn special on you. Excuse my language.
Yeah.
All she has to do is throw her special and blow you to bits in no time.
But I just don't like it. I don't they're gonna have Supercell when they get back off of their break, because in Sweden, I forgot where it's located, they have to take a summer break. It's legally you have to take a summer break. I think that once they get back, they're going to have a lot of problems on their hands, and and I have to give them some credit, though. They're bringing in 27 new star powers into the game. Of course, not all of them are going to be balanced. That's why I think Leon's Invisa heal is going to be really unbalanced, because he heals 500 health every second or so, he's invisible. And that's going to be very, very devastating.
That'd be good for me, because I suck with Leon, too.
Yeah.
By the way, I have Leon and I have Crow.
And I only have Spike and Crow.
And I think that Crow
is better.
Although I wouldn't say better, I'm just better with him, I guess, because he kind of has the same shotgun feel to him.
Yeah, he basically is a shotgunner, more damage up close. But then again, why would you get close to anyone as a Crow?
But I love using him because he's so quick.
He is.
And you can run him around and hide him really, really fast. All you have to do is outrun their player, and you can find yourself in a great spot.
Exactly.
You have to be good at sniping. You have to be really good at sneaking, getting behind somebody. Basically, in military terms, he is one heck of an assassin. Mm-hmm. He can get in there, hide, slash your throat, and run before you even know you're dead. I mean, that's pretty much what he is like.
Yeah.
Leon, to me, is the same kind of assassin. I've just not become very good at him because he strafes like
Bo.
Like Bo does. But what's funny is I've become pretty solid with Bo, and as powerful as Leon is, I still suck with him horribly.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyways, I always go off on different tangents, so sorry about that.
It's okay. And the two last confirmed star powers that are coming out are, well, I mean, they're all coming out eventually, but these are the two that are out right now, as of July 3rd, because this is when we're recording it. Carl and Rosa's star powers. So Carl's was one of the three that came out with the first batch of star powers. So Carl's star power basically shields him for 30% every time he is spinning, doing a super. Not spinning like teaming, but spinning as in doing a super. And then Rosa's...
Yeah, because when I first got him, every time I would spin, I would die in a second and a half. I'm like, you idiot. It made no sense to use his star power.
But then Rosa, that came out on July 3rd, Thorny Gloves. Rosa punches gains plus 200 damage during her super. So... basically, she does like 500 damage, and it increases it to... No, she doesn't do 500. When she's max, she does 600, but then with the star power, she does 800. And that's going to be a lot, but that's only when she has her super. Most of these are only working when she has her super, when they have their supers.
Any of them work, only work during the supers, yeah.
And I think that one's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Maybe it'll be... I think it might be balanced just because it's only when she has her super, but then again, she gets her super all the time. So I think Brawl Stars is going to have to nerf how much time she gets her super.
Now, okay, so I see on different forums and different people use terminology like that. There's a lot of people that play it don't know these terms. Nerf and whatever.
Nerf means basically having that brawler's usability in how they are go down. So basically, if they decrease the attack damage, that's a nerf. So it's reducing their power. And if they get buffed, it's pretty much... like, nerf. Buffed is
so
easy.
Kind of like softening is basically...
Yeah, basically making them less useful. And then buff is when you're increasing their usability.
Making them powerful, yeah.
Making them more powerful.
I figured buff.
Yeah,
but
buff.
Nerf to me was like, okay,
nerf for nothing.
We're throwing Nerf footballs? I mean, seriously?
Yeah. But yeah, so I think that's it for the star powers. We reviewed them all. The second star powers.
Now, do you know, I mean, is there word coming out about some of these other brawlers?
Yeah, they all have other star powers, but we're going to be here for a while reviewing them, so I'm not going to.
I can't
My favorite, though, that's coming out, is... what was it? It was Gene's. So Gene, his star power now just heals his teammates for 200 in a certain area.
Okay.
His star power will... his hand can hit an opponent and heal them for hit a teammate and heal them for 200 damage. 2,000, I mean.
Okay.
But the hand will basically be wasted on his teammate, and it won't go and grab another person. So, I think that's good, but something that I was thinking of is a rescue star power, where basically his opponent, Gene can grab his teammate and pull him to him, if they're in a rough situation. And I think that would be a cool star power. But then again, it can cause for some randoms just trying to what is it called? It can cause for some randoms just trying to, what is it called? Troll, I guess? Yeah. And mess around with them because pretend they're about to get a lot of power cubes. Your teammate's trying to get a power cube. Then you got some rando Gene. It's haha, I'm going to be a troll. Pull them away and let some other team get the power cube. So it can cause for some trolling, but I think that would be a cooler thing. So now, the star powers are out of the way, and we should talk about the biggest addition to the summer update, which is the gems. No, I'm joking. The Tick. TikTok is a new brawler. So I already talked about him in my update, but I'm gonna go more in depth about Tick. So
now that you've used them,
not that I've actually used them. So let me first give the overview, and then we can talk. Tick is a middle ball of barely controlled excitement and energy, explosive energy. That is. He throws mines, and his super makes his head detach, seek a target, and explode.
So obviously, I think it was very cool of the company to automatically award Tick as a brawler if you're already at 4,000 or above. I think that was very cool of them, because that right away opens up to people saying, okay, I got a new brawler, I'm going to try him out, I'm going to try and flex him and use him, and to be honest with you, fighting against him is so confusing
and annoying,
because they drop 3 of those dang balls on you, bombs on you, and all of a sudden you're surrounded by them, and you either have to run through them like a freaking minefield,
yeah,
or just wait till they all blow up and then they basically hit you anyways. Yeah. So I think that part of it, I think, is for the fighter, the person that's using them. I think that is a great way of basically getting into the middle of something and getting the hell out of there, right? Mm-hmm. And to the person who's getting it done to them, sucks horribly. Exactly. I hate him during brawls, during fights, during anything. I hate him. Brawl ball, I hate him in there. Mm-hmm. Okay? And then the freaking head that chases you everywhere, I think that's brilliant. I honestly do.
I love it.
I think that's brilliant, because do you remember on the last podcast that we did together that you screwed up and lost? Yeah. We talked about making a brawler that has some kind of remote head or some kind of remote something.
We did.
That chases people down.
We did. Unfortunately, I lost the footage.
Next thing you know, freaking Tick comes out.
Yep.
And I saw that. I saw his freaking star power, or his super, and I'm like, okay.
We called it.
Had you not lost that freaking footage,
I
would have been ticked, because I would have been like, dude, they stole our idea. But we have no proof of it now.
They also kind of not stole my idea, but in Exus, in a group that I'm in, which you should join. Sorry, I just had to advertise it.
Yeah, go ahead and give
me a shout out. We had me and my friend in that clan.
Let me tell you what kind of a traitor my
son is. No, wait, let me continue, and then we can talk. Wait.
Let me tell you what kind of a traitor my son is.
So Tick is a cannon brawler, motor brawler. And we in the team Exus, we had me and my friend. We had like a thing where we had to create a brawler. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna create a pirate brawler that shoots out of a cannon, and has an explosive bomb that he launches. That's basically Tick. But I created this before, and then Tick came out. So then I feel like a loser, because they probably thought that I just copied off of Tick.
So your idea was a young guy or a person or whatever, a guy dressed as a pirate. Captive. The picture of it is he's wearing black and whites, like a pirate who's been imprisoned, and that he created this guy who could basically do something similar.
I'll explain.
Hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
He does something similar to what Dynamite does.
Dynamite, yeah.
So he runs around but he throws cannonballs at people.
Basically, he has a cannonball in his hand. Yeah. I mean, he has a motor in his hand. Basically, he is Penny's brother, older brother or younger brother. It doesn't matter. But basically, he's related to Penny. And I said basically a lot. But he has her mortar. Why am I saying basically a lot? So he has her mortar in his hand, and he holds it. And it launches at enemies. But he can move. It's basically It's a moving mortar, and I hate saying. Why am I saying basically a lot? And he has a bomb in his hand that he holds all the time. And when times get tough with the super, he can throw down the bomb right at his feet, and it does a radius around the same as BB if it was a circle. Around that much.
Now, and for me, I always thought that would be awesome, and that would be kind of like an escape, like what...
Dynamite's star power. Dynajump.
Yeah, so basically he drops the bomb, but this would be his star power. Yeah. So he would be chucking bombs at people and stuff like that.
Or it could be just his super, and it comes with the added effect of launching him, because then it would just be stealing off of Dynamite, Dynajump. But yeah, that's basically what he does.
It would basically be doing the same thing that it does for Piper.
Yeah.
Piper runs away and drops bombs. So.
But then but still, again, there's El Primo who jumps, Pro who jumps, Piper who jumps, Dynamite who jumps. So it's basically, it's not rare. It's a thing that they use a lot. So the main attack is called Blunder Blast. Damage is 2,000. Takes 0.5 seconds to discharge attack. Reload is similar to Dynamite. Yeah. So it takes that much. His super is called Tidal Boom. This is his other super that I was thinking of. Scupper shoots out 5 cannonballs outwards instead of throwing the that can burst through walls. So basically, it's like Shelly's super, but it launches out cannonballs and it can go through walls, but it doesn't stun them. It just does a lot of damage. And then star power is called Set Sail, After Scupper is alive for 20 seconds or more, he earns the ability to walk over water for 8 seconds. And he can walk over lakes and stuff for 8 seconds, but if he's still in the water after the 8 seconds, he starts taking 1,000 damage until he gets out of it. So he could die and, in the water. So there's always that risk. And it doesn't have to be 8 seconds, it could be like 5 or 3. But that was my brawler that I created, and I think that
and his
it's
name,
a good brawler.
you said it a couple times without announcing it.
Oh, his name is Scupper. Basically, I did my research, and Scupper is a pirate terminology for throwing something overboard. And he is a thrower, so it makes sense to call him Scupper. Yeah. So that's why I created him. I mean, that's why I called him Scupper.
And I thought that was a great idea, and then, of course, it's like these guys are reading minds, because then they come out with Tick.
Yeah.
This guy who basically has the same sort of the same type of situation as this guy that you created.
Yeah,
and then of course he throws a freaking remote control head that chases people down, which was my idea. So
and even before that podcast,
that we didn't do.
Even before that podcast, my dad texted me out of the blue when he was in Alaska, and he said, "You know what would be cool if they created a brawler that throws out like robots that can go and chase you and do damage, and then Tick." So, but. My view on Tick.
Mine was different because he would throw out more than one.
Like 3.
He would throw out like 3, and they would chase people around.
But they were very weak. Basically, like doing 20 damage. 20 damage. But my views on Tick. I like playing him. I don't like going up against him. Because Tick is a very controlled brawler. Like, in Brawl Ball, when he came out, me and my friends, we were just playing him. And we were just having a blast.
Yeah, you just literally.
Pun intended, because one of us was always Tick, because everyone else would be a Tick, and Tick is good up against Tick for a reason I'll get into right now. But going up playing as Tick, he's fun because you can control everything. You can throw landmines on the ball. Your team can get the ball, but the enemies can't because they don't want to take damage. So because of that, you can always control a wide range, and also. His super. I love his super. It's a new super. We never really had anything like this other than Nita's Bear. But Nita's Bear doesn't really do damage up front. On the other hand, Tick's head, once it hits someone, boom, they're dead. It's not really like Nita's Bear. So I think it's very cool. And especially on a map that has a lot of grass in the middle. So Cavern Churn was a map that came out, I think, with the update, which I'm glad because I love Cavern Churn. It's my favorite map. But Cavern Churn came back the day after Tick was released. So I was playing him, and I was pushing him. And I got my Tick up to rank 12 just by doing that. And a fun thing about it is that no one can see the head coming at you in the grass. So no one knows that if you threw down your head, no one can see that unless they were right next to you. So sometimes when I'm playing... and I just hide behind a wall and just throw my things as Tick, because that's basically what you have to do as a thrower, because it's typically weak. So when I was playing him, I throw down my head in the middle, and no one sees it, and it just hits someone. And no one knows how, and that's how they figure out, oh, there's a Tick on this map, better watch out. Because Tick's head is very overpowered. Me and my friends were joking, and we said that Tick's head is better than our team, because Tick's head is very overpowered. It can stop someone from having a ball in Brawl Ball, so basically knocks you back, and you don't have the ball anymore. So in up-close situations, when the team is right next to your goal, and they're coming in hot, throw down your head, it knocks them off, and it delays the game for a couple of seconds.
It delays any score or anything like that.
Yeah, and even then, a couple seconds doesn't sound much, but 3 seconds can tell if, 3 seconds can decide if you win or lose a game. So, time really matters in this game. So, that's the thing coming out, and that's Tick for you. I like him. I think he's a very cool brawler.
I really can't wait to see what other kind of extra supers they come out with.
Or star powers.
That they come out with. One of my all-time favorite, El Primo.
Mm-hmm. Oh, El Primo.
Because
Meteor Rush is his new star power.
What is it called?
Meteor Rush. Basically, it gives him, the power juice. It gives him a power juice after jumping. So he does a lot of damage. But it's not a full power juice.
So he doesn't actually go and
he does more damage.
Do some kind of other wrestling move. Because he's a wrestler by heart. I mean, obviously he's he's a freaking, he's a wrestler.
Yeah.
100% easy to figure out.
Of course.
The guy's a freaking luchador. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
So, luchadors are known for their flying, right? They jump off of ropes and all that. So that's why his super is so perfect. Because it fits exactly what he's supposed to do.
It fits him and it fits his
But
background.
what would be awesome is to have, because they're known for their flipping and they do their crazy. For me personally, what would have been awesome is if he does the same kind of jump, but instead of blowing up something, he basically lands on them and flips them and throws them wherever. So that way, if they do have a ball, right, like on Brawl Ball,
you could just chuck them away.
He literally can jump on somebody, and it's kind of like the bump back thing that you're talking about for Tick, where he would jump on them, do some kind of a crazy wrestling move, flip them 5 feet, and be able to grab the ball.
Or maybe instead of jumping, like there was like he can have it's like his super changes from that to from just basically getting up close to someone and then having the ability to throw them rather than jumping then throwing. Or if he jumps, he doesn't do damage because I think it would be unfair. I think the damage would be dealt when they get thrown rather than jumping on then getting thrown.
That's what I'm saying.
So either he can jump on them and then throw them away, or he can just go up to them and throw them away. So, I mean, that would be I
don't know about the going up to them because, his main attack is up close.
Yeah.
But in order for him to get up close, he's going to take a lot of damage. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. So, like, his jump, his current star power is that he can either jump into a fight or jump away from a fight.
Yeah.
And so, to me, it's kind of like, okay, you make him a little bit too powerful. If he's able to walk up to you, grab you, and jump or throw with you, I think that just by jumping on them, picking them up, and chucking them, I think that would be fun to watch. Mm-hmm. But, once again, how powerful would that make him?
Very.
Would he be, so overpowering that they're going, okay, we're going to have to stunt his growth?
Yeah.
And what did you call it? Nerf him? Yeah.
So, something that, it's not really a big thing, but I realized something in the Trophy Road. So, Tick is, the last brawler that you can... Oh, I did something. Don't worry about it. Tick is the last brawler that you can get, for now, in the Trophy Road. And I realized, looking through them, Tick is explosive brawler, Bo's an explosive brawler, Dynamite's an explosive brawler, then Brock's an explosive brawler. So the last couple of brawlers have been explosive brawlers on the Trophy Road. And I find that interesting if they're going to continue that pattern and only do their explosive brawlers on the Trophy Road. So that's just something that I saw.
So I'm gonna enter here. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna throw a little segment of my own called Pop's Corner.
Oh God. Okay.
Because I have a gripe. See.
Mm-hmm.
So a few weeks ago, my son Grant requested me.
Okay, I'm gonna step out of the room.
No, you can sit down because you need to take this.
You can talk. I'm gonna get water.
So a couple weeks back, my son asks me, "Hey, Dad, you should start your own clan." And I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Oh, well, I enjoy the Arizona clan, but when it comes right down to it, the Arizona clan, there's about 20 of them out there, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "Are you serious?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Okay." So what do? I start a clan. So Chris convinces his friends and my daughter, who also plays, convinces them to join this clan. Now, the name of my clan, I'll just throw it out there. You don't have to join if you don't want. I don't care. Whatever you want. The more people that join, hey, that's awesome. I do care. I'm not the kind of a jerky guy who would kick you out after 30 days of not playing. I'm not the kind of jerky guy who's going to throw a bunch of trophy requirements on there, although I think someone did. One of my vice presidents did. But anyways, I regress. So I go in there and I start this clan. And I name this clan just something off of some kind of a reference from Saturday Night Live a skit called Sweaty Balls. Mm-hmm. And if you look it up on YouTube or you look it up on anything else, you'll understand the reference. It's not spelled in any derogatory way, although there's so much innuendo in that and double meaning in that skit that you'll get what it means. So Point is, I make up this stupid clan. I'm the president or whatever, and I'm like, all right, no problem. He joins. So do all these other of his friends join. Then Chris informs me one day, I'm sitting there working over there, and I'm still in Alaska. I'm working, and Chris tells me, hey, Dad, guess what? And I said, what? Oh, there's this group of guys. What are they called, Chris? Exus, Faxes, whatever the hell their name is.
Dad,
and
choose your words carefully because I'm going to be telling them that the new podcast is coming out.
And I will obviously allow Chris to give his shout out because this is his. But on Pop's Corner, I will not degrade them. I think that that's a cool opportunity. I really do. What I don't think was cool was how my son dropped me out of the... Hold on. This is Pop's Corner, right? Okay. So what got me was that Chris decided, Dad, I'm going to leave this group that I asked you to create.
It was free.
And I'm going to go and... So, it was matter of whether it's free or not. And I'm going to go and I'm going to join this group. And so, of course, I was a punk about it. I told Chris, if you leave, blah, 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 I will never pay for anything on your account. I will never... I'm going to... Basically, I told him that I would disown him as a son. And for about a day, I disowned him as a Brawl Star friend. I dumped him as a friend. Chris,
we were friends, and he just decided to kick me off of his friends list, and I added him back.
So, of course... I was just being stupid. This is my son. I'm always going to support him. So for his team, he was requested to do, as a creative consultant.
Editor and designer.
And so go over to their page and hang out with them. These are some good kids. And they actually do a conference call together several times out of the week, which I think, hey, you know what? Whatever you want to do, as long as it expands your creativity, it allows you to be who you are.
And as long as they're not 45-year-old men.
Well,
Trust me, they're not.
If they're going to try and meet him somewhere, I will meet them there too, and they won't be happy. But anyways, my point is that, in playing this game, I did it for my son. And, of course, my daughter joined after.
Yep.
And so... I enjoy doing this. I enjoy it because, I'm not a gamer at heart. I never was a gamer growing up. I'm in my 40s.
Hashtag Gamer Month! Woo! July is Gamer Month!
This is Pop's Corner. This is not Chris's fat mouth corner.
Chris's
point
corner.
Is,
that would make sense. Chris's corner.
I completely support him in what he's doing. Shafting his old man for the sake of others will happen sometimes, but that's fine. I don't know how. To be honest with you, I only look on to see what our clan's doing once in a blue moon. So I think we have like 9 players or something like that. Anybody who wants to get out there, join the clan, go ahead, have fun, do what you want to do.
Sweaty balls with a Z, spelled SCHWEDDY space. Capital BALLZ. Sweaty balls.
Yeah.
And also follow Exus. I need
spell it out.
Exus spelled EXUS. I believe that there's an exclamation mark. There might not. Basically, look for the one that has a lot of players, around like 90 or so. So yeah. Also, we have a Discord, which I'll link in the description as well.
Am I done with Pop's Corner?
No, I'm just linking them. If you want to continue Pop's Corner, you can.
Pop's Corner, basically, I'll do this periodically if Chris allows me to.
Yeah, I don't care.
And it's, hey, you know what? It's a gripe, or it's a positive, or it's whatever it is. I mean, I'm no Joe Rogan where I could talk about something for 2.5 hours. 3 hours. The guy's a freaking genius, especially on his podcast, but. Like I said, I was not a gamer, but I think this is an intuitive, fun game. So we'll just keep it at that.
Exactly.
So Pop's Corner is done.
Yeah. Okay. So one thing I want to talk about is the fact that the state of the game. Now, Dad and I have talked about this in the past, not recorded, but I think that it's a very good fact that I want to bring up. So, Dad.
Yes.
Remember when we were talking about how Brawl Stars is such a better game than Clash of Clans and Clash Royale? Would you like to elaborate on that?
Oh, yeah. So, there are games that are out there that are, what do they call them?
Arcade.
RPGs or something.
RPGs.
Yeah, role-playing games. So basically, these are just kind of automatic games. You choose a guy to do something, and then he goes and he does it.
Yeah.
And for me, I always thought that was kind of silly because it doesn't allow you to get in there and be interactive, i.e., what I mentioned before, Mortal Kombat, games like that. Yeah. So you go in there and you actually physically fight. And that's what I really enjoy about this game. You go in, you physically fight. You don't just give orders to troops to go and die and do stupid crap like that. Or and you can develop different abilities, but in the end, you already know what the outcome's going to be. Exactly. Because you know what you're sending out there. You know what you're going against. You know what you're going to end up with.
Exactly.
So you kind of know from the get-go, I send this guy, I send that guy, I send that troop, I send this troop. Mm-hmm. I'm going to win because I'm way overpowered anyways. Exactly. This guy has no chance, right? And that's what I always felt was the problem with something like Clash Royale and right? And Clash of Clans.
Clash of Clans, Clash Royale. Yes.
And I mean, granted, that made this group of people a ton of money because it was a fun game to play for people that wanted to play it. Strategy game.
It was basically a game that you played when you're on the toilet. Basically, it's just a pastime game.
It's a game of Risk in your hand, in your phone, on your hand, right?
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I kind of enjoy about Brawl Stars is you don't know what the outcome's going to be. Yeah, you know what? You might be going up against a Crow who has, or a Leon who has 14 power cubes and you have 2.
Yeah.
But if you get off that lucky shot, or if you got that lucky hit, or if you get that giant bot that comes and weakens them for you, then the outcome could be different than what you thought it was.
Exactly.
The maps change everything. So depending on how they set up a map, you might be better on that one as whoever, and you might be horrible as whoever in the next map.
And that's why Clash Royale. And that's why Clash Royale is kind of just the same thing. Because it's the same map. It's basically a lake in the middle, 2 bridges where your troops can cross through, and then 3 towers on both sides. It's basically the same thing over and over again, but you can change up who you play.
And I think that's the brilliance of this game.
Of Brawl Stars.
I think that when you go in, you start off with a Shelly. Mm-hmm. And you start off with one map system that you can use to fight.
Gem grab.
And you start to develop from gem grab. And then you get the next one. And then you start building up coinage and you start building up gems and things like that.
Yeah.
If you're the kind of person that likes to buy their way, like Kairos Time, right?
Mm-hmm. To be fair, he didn't buy his way. His first account was... He started off as a player.
He buffed his nephew. I saw this video.
Yeah, I like that video. It was interesting.
He got his nephew to be literally from whatever to basically the best gamer in the world, practically.
Next.
And I think that was so cool.
Yeah.
But what does a kid do after he's so strong?
Exactly.
He's kind of like, I get bored.
That's the thing. I watched that video and I was like, wow, that would be very cool. I wish that could happen to me. And then I was like thinking, no, because that... Even though I complain about not getting a brawler, like I haven't got the only brawler that I've gotten in a while is Tara, and that was only like a couple months ago. But I complain about not getting new brawlers. But then again, that actually gives me a reason to play the game because if I get the brawlers, all of the brawlers in once, and then I get their star powers, I get the maxed. What's the point in playing? Because you're not fighting, you're not earning, you're not buffing them up, you're not doing them in your own terms. You're doing it because you bought them $1,000 worth of Brawl Stars. And it's just basically, there's no point in playing the game if you're not doing it. But I like that video. That was a fun video to watch.
And it's not to criticize him because obviously Kairos Time is living off of what he does on YouTube.
And to be fair, he is. I watch Kairos Time. I like his content.
I've seen a few of his videos. And the point is that,
we're not hating.
While that I think is cool, if you walk in to a game like this with a credit card, and you just credit card your way up.
You're not really getting the full experience of it.
You know what? That's fun, and that's nice for you. We've not allowed Chris to buy $100, $200, $300 worth of stuff.
Yeah.
Chris is allowed to purchase things here and there that would help with his YouTube, help with his research. By the way, pause that real quick.
Pause.
Speaking of research. Chris read.
Oh shoot!
Chris Gramps read to me this research
video idea
that he put together that I thought was pretty outstanding.
I'm not gonna give that much of a hint, but basically,
well, let me ask you a
question. I figured
out
a big question that no one really asked because they all thought that they knew the answer to. But I figured out where that thing is. I figured out basically I solved the problem that no one really asked.
So what's the plan on that? Because honestly, I know this is just a tease that you want to do, but to be honest with you,
I told it to the leader.
I think this could start one heck of a conversation.
I talked to the leader of Exus, and I was debating because Exus has a editor. I don't even edit my videos.
Oops,
the farthest that I've gone to editing was the Best of Dad Father's Day video that I recorded where it's just snippets.
That. Thank you.
You're welcome. But that's the farthest I've gone through editing. I don't know how to edit, so I need editing for this video to make it happen. So that's why I'm bringing it up to Exus, and it might be recorded on Exus, and it will be me talking. It will be my content, my work, my illustrations, but it's someone else's editing, and it's on a different channel. To be fair, though, the Exus YouTube will probably get more traffic as well because it's a channel where we're doing best of content. And you saw my best of videos. Alright, I'm a small YouTuber. I got 16 views on that. And even though that's not that big, that's still big compared to my channel. So, best of bring in a bunch of viewers. So if I make a video idea for them, which I already told to the leader of the clan, where it's that video, it will get more traffic. So if I end up posting that video, it's more than likely going to be on the Exus channel. So, and you have to stay tuned. So basically, I solved a problem.
So let's say you do this, it gets edited, turned into a video. Yeah. Where it's a YouTube page that they have.
Yeah, it's going to be on their YouTube channel.
And spell it out because.
Well, they haven't made it yet. They haven't made it yet. But
what's the name of the YouTube page?
It's typically going to be it's more than likely going to be Exus.
So you guys haven't started it yet?
No, because for one, I created the channel banner. Killian, the other designer, created the logo for it. So once that's done and once the video is fully made and I already have the thumbnail for them for the first video that they're going to post. Once it's ready, they're going to post it, they're going to make the channel, and then I'll link everything. And then I believe that because most of us, I don't know if all of us, but some of us have a YouTube channel on the Exus page, so I think that they're going to put most of the members in for all of our channels.
That'll be cool.
That would be cool. But I would finally, my dream from the start of making this Brawl Stars channel was to have people that I can record with and have other channels that I would be friends with. Starting going into Exus, I think is very good because there are some funny people.
Dumping my clan. Okay,
to be fair, I did shout out sweaty balls in one of my videos, Dad. All right, so you're still gonna have some people going, but joining Exus was probably good because there are other people that are passionate about making YouTube videos. I mean, I don't know if there are that many YouTubers or people who want to be YouTubers in there, but I think having people who are very funny because I love recording with you, Dad, and Emma and Alonzo.
Yeah, because I'm such a genius.
Yeah, but the people who I'm playing with...
I'm a comedic genius, can't you tell?
Exactly. But the people who I'm recording with, who I'm playing with, Fernicus and Killian, they are very funny because they have really a dark sense of humor like me, and it's just a fun time. So I can't wait for me to actually get working, figuring out how to edit and put audio files because I can't record right now with their voices because Discord is not showing up on my thing. So until that happens, it's going to be a fun time, and yeah. I think we've been talking for more than an hour now.
I think we're almost at 2.
I think we're done. Well... Yeah, guys, so this is going to wrap up episode 2 of the Misfits podcast? Sorry, that's a podcast I listen to. This is going to wrap up the end of the BS podcast.
And so begins the end of your career.
Yeah. But this is going to be the end of I almost said Misfits again. This is going to be the end of the BS podcast.
Now, hopefully, the next time we do this podcast,
it won't break.
Everyone will be in Alaska.
Yes, because...
The plans are that we are going to be moving everybody out there on the beginning of August.
Exactly.
So that will give them about a month of good summer.
In
and
Alaska.
then things start to kind of change a little bit towards the end of September, beginning of October. It gets colder. We had our first snowfall last year, beginning of November. And then end of November 30th, we had a
earthquake.
7.2 earthquake, which hopefully doesn't repeat this year.
Yeah. My dad went through an earthquake alone, and that was the first time he went through an earthquake.
Never been through one. Of course, it scared the living,
heck out of him.
Me. Almost made me come home.
Almost.
Because it is that frightening.
It is. And he was alone, to be fair.
You think about it, you think about it this way. You're sitting in your chair right now, or you're sitting in the car right now, or you're sitting wherever you're sitting, and all of a sudden everything, and I don't mean just the walls or your car, I mean everything is shaking in front of you. Literally. The trees are moving. The streets are bowing.
The lights are tipping.
I rode with an Uber driver in Alaska who was driving when it hit, and he said he was driving, and all of a sudden his car started to slow down. Then he noticed that the streets were waving.
Oh, God.
Okay, literally waving in front of him.
Yeah. It's
frightening.
It is.
But two things you take away from it. One, millions of people experience them every day.
Yeah.
They happen. Two, in Alaska, they expect them to happen.
That's why that city was built.
They don't expect them to be weak. They expect them to be strong.
The city was built after the first earthquake, like the first devastating earthquake. The city was built low to the ground so tall buildings won't collapse on other buildings. And it was also built with like a lot of intent to survive earthquakes.
A lot of flex and a lot of movement.
And so, it was interesting because I read that during that earthquake, there was no casualties, right? There was like no people who died.
There were no deaths. There were a few.
There were a few injuries, but there were no deaths.
But they were all related to people with heart conditions that had a flutter or something, had a heart attack.
No one died or got injuries because of like things falling on them and everything. Because Alaska was ready. More specifically, Anchorage was ready for earthquakes because it was built. Most of the city was built after the first major earthquake. I forgot when it was. So
I think it was 1956. I'd have to look it up. But I have a roommate who actually was alive. She was 12 years old when it actually hit. Mm-hmm. It was a 9.4. Worst earthquake in North America. The worst. Yeah. And that's including Canada and all of that. But anyways, the point is
Canada, Mexico.
A 9.4 is basically what they call... it's an act of God.
Yeah.
Anything above an 8 is considered an act of God. Mm-hmm. And so a 9.4, you can imagine how.
God, that's like San Andreas, that movie, right?
I don't even know what San Andreas.
San Andreas was probably like a 10 or 13.
No, I think they only go up to 10.
But I'm pretty sure
the San Andreas movie that's based on what would happen
if the
big one hit. There were sirens that went off. They were worried about a tsunami.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
There was a lot that was going on. I mean, in the entire peninsula, they call it the Kenai Peninsula.
Kenai, yeah.
The entire peninsula was under warning, and so everybody was ready. Everybody had their go bags. Basically what happens is this: every person that lives there, you want to have what's called a go bag. Yeah. It's going to have spare clothes. It's going to have warm stuff. It's going to have possibly fishing gear, firearms, water, food that can last for hours and years.
MREs.
You have MREs. You have a go bag of all this stuff, and you have it ready in your closet so that if something happens, worst case scenario, you have to evacuate. Exactly. You don't want to take an hour to evacuate when a tsunami might be on its way. So for me, I had already had a backpack, I had clothes, I had things ready to go. I had not had a go bag.
Yeah.
It took me 20 minutes to get a go bag ready and in the car and get ready to go just in case. By then, they had already called off the tsunami warning. So that's what they say. You have to be ready, get the stuff ready. Mm-hmm. And so when it hit, I was in shock. You are in shock.
Of course.
And then 5 minutes later, a 5.8 hit.
Oh, yeah.
And that was considered an aftershock. In the lower 48.
5.8
aftershock. In the lower 48, which is what they call everything underneath Canada.
Except for
lower
Hawaii.
48.
Hawaii and Alaska aren't considered the 48.
Yeah. So, in the lower 48, a 5.8 is devastating. It really is.
Yeah.
In Alaska, a 5.8, they consider it
an aftershock.
They basically considered an aftershock.
Oh my god.
And so that hit, and I was on my way out the door to check on neighbors. And so we rumbled again, and there were over 5,000 aftershocks. Some felt, some weren't, and you could feel it. It's very I hate to say it's shocking. When you're laying there and you're trying to sleep, and you're laying down, and all of a sudden you just kind of feel a brrr, right? Basically, it's like, okay, you farted without knowing you farted. Yeah. That was an aftershock. That was a 3-point something. But when everything just starts shaking uncontrollably, and that's what it did.
Yeah.
It shook, and everything shook hard. You're watching the house like, oh crap, right? That's what you think. Like, what do I do? What do I do? First thing you got to do, get under the strongest structure in your house. Usually it's a bathroom, a closet, something that has more physical structure to it. Me, it was a massive beam that goes across all of our rooms. I live in a condo complex. And so I got under the beam and I waited it out. Then I went outside, and that was after the 5.8. Went outside, started checking on neighbors. Then I went back inside, scared. I was scared to death to go back inside. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
Put together my go bag, threw it in the car, and I waited. And I watched TV, and I waited just to see what we needed to do next. So, anyways, point is, they don't expect that something like that would happen again. Yeah. You never know.
But you never know.
Mother Earth does what she wants.
Exactly.
So you have to be ready.
And that's one thing I'm glad about. In Arizona, nothing happens other than heat waves. But Arizonans aren't stupid. It's the tourists who kind of are, who come here and hike. Okay, for anyone who doesn't know Arizona, there's a mountain right in the middle of Phoenix. Not right in the middle, but around Phoenix, called Camelback Mountain. It's called Camelback because it looks like a camel laying down with the humps and everything in the head. We have tourists who come in the middle of summer and like, you know what? I'm going to hike that. And Camelback Mountain is a very extreme hike. It's like very high and everything. And people always, tourists specifically, they always get casualties, they have to be rescued because of the heat and they're not ready. So that's literally the only thing that happens in Arizona. There's no earthquakes, tornadoes. I mean, every now and then you see funnel clouds that get recorded in Arizona, but they never touch the ground causing tornadoes. So that's the only bad things that we get. And up north, we get bad snowstorms. But other than that, Arizona is a very safe state. So that's one thing that I'm happy about. But I can't wait to move to Alaska. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have that bus that I talked about in the last podcast, I believe. I talked about a bus. As converting it into office. Can't wait for that. And yeah, so I think this is officially the end of the BS podcast for this video. Again, my name is Grant. My co-host is Pops, also known as Dad.
Also known as me.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna hopefully see y'all in the next podcast.
Hopefully we'll be in Alaska.
Hopefully in the next podcast we'll be in Alaska. Actually, no. I have a podcast pre-recorded. So after that podcast, we probably will be in Alaska. The next podcast that I'll post is recorded with Emma, my sister, who's been in also a couple of my videos. More than that, I believe. I don't know. So yeah, we'll catch you on the next podcast. Thanks for joining in. See y'all later. Let me end the video. End the video, please.